Hello everyone and welcome to part 37 of this chess puzzle run where you can solve puzzles along with me on chess.com. So let's start here with the first puzzle, and it looks like let's see, a rook has just moved here to c3. So what is that threatening, and what does white have here in this game? All right, let's take a look. Well, let's see. Okay, at any point, if you need more time to think, just pause the video. Uh, if not, then I think I found a good response. Let's see here. Possibly knight captures this pawn on e4, forking the queen and the rook. So that's kind of an obvious move. Let's see if there's anything better here. And what threats are there? So, if we capture there, I don't know, that looks pretty good. The queen would have to retreat. And I don't see any immediate threats against us. This knight could check us. So if we fork and the knight tries to jump in here to check us, we would be forced to capture. And the queen could move here. I don't know. It's a little tricky. But I don't know. That seems like the best move. Knight to e4, forking the queen and the rook. So I think I'll go with that one. All right, so that is what they wanted. Now the queen retreated, attacking our queen. So possibly the best move would be just to, well, first I'll make sure there's nothing better that I'm missing, but it looks like we should just capture the queen. They would be forced to recapture. Then we could capture this rook and we would just be ahead in material. All right. Okay, so that is what they were looking for. Now we just end up ahead by a rook here in the end game. And we have a threat of, well, possibly moving here and pinning this knight to the rook here. All right, well, let's move on to the next one. Hopefully you found that one. So let's see what is next here. Okay, a bishop that was under attack by a pawn here retreats back to c5. It's lined up on our king. We could just capture this bishop. Let's look at the material. So we have 7 pawns and they have 7 pawns. They have a bishop pair versus our bishop and knight. Otherwise, it's even. We do have this half open file here with our rook on it. But are there any immediate threats? Let's see. Well, if we capture this bishop with our knight and the queen recaptures, our bishop could move up here attacking the queen again. Does that do anything? Let's see. Well, I don't know. This is an obvious move, but it doesn't really do too much. It just captures, and then the queen would recapture. We could gain time by moving our bishop up here and chasing this queen some more. Um, hmm. Let's see. Is there anything better? If there was a way we could capture this knight, or excuse me, capture the bishop with our knight, and the queen would recapture. If these pawns weren't here, we could move our bishop to a3 and attack the queen and the rook on this diagonal. But is there a way to move all those pawns? We could attack the queen. The pawn could capture. Then this pawn could capture, attacking the queen again. Well, and then another type of option would be if we could move our knight here, forking the king and the queen, but of course this pawn is covering that square. So what if we went here? They can't capture us, because if they capture our bishop, if our bishop moves here and the bishop captures, then our knight could jump in there, but they don't have to capture there. If they don't capture, well, and we capture, well, then the king could just move down here. Then the knight can't move there anyway, so, I don't know. This is a kind of a tricky one. If we were to move there, bishop to h6, and they don't capture, well then, what if we capture? Then if the king recaptures, and we bring our queen up here to h5, then we could threaten to go here, but that would give him time to just move this pawn to protect. All right. What if our queen just moved here to f3 and threatened to move here with check, and then we could just pick off the queen? I don't know if that's what they're looking for here. We could try that. Try to go here, queen to f3 with the threat of moving this knight with check and capturing. But then the queen could just move. The queen could just move, or, well, the queen, let's see. The queen doesn't even have to move. No, the queen would have to move. And if the queen moved, well, then the rook comes under attack. So I don't know. I'm going to go with this. Queen to f3. Okay, so that is what they were looking for. Okay, but now they're protecting this queen. And if we were to go here, we could, should we move out of the way there? Or now should we just capture? just go ahead and capture this bishop, I think. Because if they capture, then we recapture. If they capture, we're just ahead. All right, I guess that's what we'll go for. All right, so here we have to capture. So we do that, and we're just ahead in material. All right, well, I hope you found that one. I had to think a little bit harder on that one. It says this puzzle rating that we just did was 2554, so maybe, I don't know how that equates to actual ratings. Like if that, I don't think that would mean that a grandmaster would have to be able to solve that, but I don't know. It would be interesting to find out how they come up with their ratings, the puzzle ratings here. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So, a bishop has just moved here, putting us in check. So we have to do something about that. But what is best? Well, whenever you're in check, you have three options: capture the attacker, block the attacker, or run. So we can't capture this attacker. We could block, but then the bishop would just capture with check. So moving is probably the best thing to do. So I don't know. We have to be careful though. Once we start moving, we could get chased around. So I don't know. It looks like we have to just move this king to e1 because we don't want to block. No block. We can't capture. We do have this pawn that's about to march up here and promote, so that's good. All right, I think we just have to move our king. All right, they check us again. Now we have to decide where to run, because if we block, he'll just capture our queen. So blocking would not be a good idea. We can't capture this queen, so we have to run again. And we can't run back because of the bishop, so we have to go to either d1 or d2. So what would be best? Well, if we go here, d2 might be better because the only way for him to check us after that is moving queen to e3 here. No, I'm wrong. The queen can check us with d3 as well. Okay. Well, this is tricky. All right. Well, I say we should move the king. But d2 or d1, which would be better? If we go up here to d2, the queen could go to d3, backed up by this bishop. And then we'd have to run back. Okay, if we go here to d1, the bishop could try and swoop in there. This is tricky. What? Let's see. What would be good here? King to d2 or king to d1? I hope you figured it out. So this one is a little tricky here. King to d2 would allow queen to d3 check, forcing us back to e1 or further on to c. All right. I'm going to go here and then try and run down. At least on the dark squares, the bishop can't harass us. And now we can just move on further here. All right, now we can block with the queen. But then they would be able to come back. Would that be best to do that? If we block with the queen, their queen could maneuver back and check us here. Let's see. On e3, man, I guess our queen could move back and block. Then they could swoop down here. So do we continue to move our king? That is the question. All right. Oh, man, this is a tricky one. Okay. Do we just move this king? If we go here, the bishop can swoop in and check us again. Then I guess we could... All right, so that's what they wanted, to block there. But if they block us here, then what? Or excuse me, if we block here, then they can swoop back to e3 and check us again. You know, and then what do we do? So queen to e3. I mean, do we just move back and forth and it's a draw? I don't know. That one was kind of tricky. If I look at the analysis real quick, we'll see what the computer says. So queen to d1 check. Although, wait a minute, in this position, whose turn was it to move? Great. I don't remember how it began. Oh, it was black's turn to move in this position, I think. And I think they moved bishop to b5 with check, I believe. So once they did that, and we went king to e1, and then they went, what did they do? Do we remember what they did? Let's see, did they just check with their queen immediately? I can't remember if they did that. And then we moved up here. I don't know. I think I got that wrong. Let's go back here and look at the problem. So they went here. Then, you know, we moved. Okay, so they went here, queen to e4. So, you know, then we went up here, down here, blocked with the queen. Okay. I'll take a quick look at this from the beginning. So bishop, check. The king moved. The queen moved here. Then we went up to d2. They went queen to d3. We went here. They went queen to a3. And then once we block, looks like queen to e3, what I said. And they just recommend us moving. Moving to b1. Then after a bishop check, king moving up to a2. Then just moving this bishop here. Then queen to b3 check and exchanging off the queens. Ooh, okay, that was a tough one. All right, I hope you did a little bit better and saw more than I did. So let's move on to another one. This video is probably getting a little bit longer here. I'll try and do 2 more problems. Okay, so the rook has just moved here to d2. And what does that do? That attacks our knight here. So that's the threat, just taking this knight. Okay, well, we could retreat our knight and attack the queen. But they could just capture and we exchange off. So what does the material look like? We have 5, 6 pawns. They have 6. We each have a knight and a bishop and a queen and a rook. So material is pretty even. They have a pawn majority here on the queen side. But we have this passed pawn here. They do have a knight down in our position here. Okay, so what would be best here? What would be best? Do we just move our knight back here? Let's see. Man, I guess we could just go for this pawn. Just capture this pawn with our knight. Would that be best? Capture the pawn with the knight. We just go ahead a pawn. I don't know. That looks a little obvious. Do we just, if we capture the bishop, they could just, I guess they could just capture our queen first, and then once we recapture, they would recapture. Okay. Well, maybe we just go after this. Go after this pawn. Is there anything better this knight can do? Maybe if the knight moves to f4, there's a threat of forking the king and this bishop. But I don't know. I don't see anything great about that. All right. I don't know. Maybe the best thing to do is go after this pawn. Then our bishop in the future could threaten to attack here, or our rook could move up here and fork the pawn on f3 and the pawn on a3. So maybe that is best. So I don't know, maybe just capture. All right, I'm going to go with that. Just capture this pawn here. If the queen captures us, we recapture. And then what do we do? Move this knight back and threaten their bishop. All right. Looks like it's working so far. Do we just capture this queen? That looks like the obvious move. Are there going to be any surprises that we didn't account for? All right, so now they're giving us a knight for 2 pawns. So do we go after that, though? Is it a trick? Because then our knight could be under attack. All right, looks like we should go after that. Just take this. Then the bishop would be attacking. All right, yeah, so we're just ahead in material after that. Okay, well, we'll do one more problem, and maybe if I can solve it correctly, we can break into the 2700 range. So hopefully I didn't just jinx my chances there. Okay, this knight just captured on c6 there. So now what do we do? All right. What is that threatening? A possible check here, but the queen is covering that. And what does material look like? So 7 pawns, they have 8 pawns, so they're ahead by a pawn. We have 3 minor pieces, they have 4. So I believe they just captured a minor piece. So if we just recapture, we'll just be behind a pawn. We do have some pieces lining up on the white king here. Our bishop, queen, knight, the other bishop. So it looks like we should just attack. Just start charging in here. We could capture this pawn here. He could try and protect against the mate with his queen to f6. Let's see. What else do we have? All right, so that might be the most obvious move. Bishop takes h3, threatening a mate. He could either protect with the queen, but then we could just move our bishop back and attack the queen, I guess. Or if we go here, he could push his pawn forward and we could just capture. So I don't know, this looks like the best move is to just capture with our bishop on h3, but then we always have to watch out for unexpected checks. So what if this knight moves to e7, checking our king? The queen could just capture it, you know, and then material would be even because he would recapture here. All right, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with this bishop move. And they did check us there. Okay, so now we have to decide whether we just move our king over or just retreat back and capture here. If we move our queen back and capture, that gets rid of an attacking piece. So I would say to continue our attack, we probably just want to move the king. If we just capture the knight, well, yeah, maybe just move this king. Okay, and so then they did move their queen up to f3, which I was wondering if they would do that. Well, we could just capture another pawn here, threatening their rook. If their queen captures, well, then we could just pick off this knight, I guess, and we'd be ahead of pawn. Oh, but this threat, they have a bishop on b2 lining up on this pawn, and once their queen would be here, we couldn't capture this knight, or well, our knight is protecting that, so I guess it could work. All right, well, let's see. All right, I guess we just press forward unless there's anything better. Can this knight do anything here? Jumping in here maybe to f4 and putting more pressure on. Does that do anything? Or do we just capture with our bishop? Nope. Maybe they wanted that knight move. No, they didn't want that either. Okay, should we just take the knight now? Is that what they want? Nope. Okay, well now I'm having trouble figuring out what kind of move they're looking for. Nope. All right, do we just retreat the bishop back and attack the queen? Huh. Well, that is strange. Okay. Huh. Okay. And why didn't that bishop just retreat? So let's take a look at that. So we went here. Okay. All right. Yeah, knight to f3. Okay, then we took. Then they went here. We had to move. They brought their queen out. Now it says to go here. Oh, I see. The queen is trapped. All right, so that's a tricky little move to see. The queen can't do anything. Yeah, the queen can't go anywhere, so that is why the queen had to capture, because, or retreat, and then we just capture. Okay, and it looks like the best move was to capture here. And then after we capture, we're just ahead in material. All right, well, once again, I fell short of reaching 2,700. What did we end at? Looks like, okay, where is the rating? Anyway, we fell short of 2,700. And I hope you did a little bit better than I did on the last one. If you enjoyed this chess puzzle run, which was kind of like a crawl because these were a little bit more difficult and it took a little bit longer. But just remember to study tactics, do puzzles, problems, anything tactical related, and it should, gradually, well, if you're a beginner, it'll probably help you improve faster. If you have more experience, it'll still help, but maybe not quite as fast because a lot of the tactics you'll be familiar with, but you can always learn new tactics. All right, thank you, everybody. Feel free to like and subscribe, leave comments or suggestions. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.